And so we are live. Hello, everyone. So, we're just going to wait for some people to arrive so we could start our discussion. Hi, Sai. So this is Sai, one of my Filipino Bookstagram friends.
Oh,
Hi,
hi.
everybody. Um, we'll just wait for some. But anyway, so just an introduction for today. We're going to discuss Ghost Squad by Claribel A. Ortega. So as usual, this is going to be a light and fun discussion about a middle grade book. And I chose this book, sorry, for like the spooky Halloween season because it's about ghost hunting in general. So I have no expectations going to this book, but I've heard a lot of like booktubers talk about this in the past month or so. So they said that it's a really nice middle grade book. And I'm going to be joined here by this is going to be our first time to collaborate in a video, and we're very thankful for her presence at this point. Everybody, let's welcome Paula, and she also has a channel. I'm going to try to put the link later on the description box. It's Paula Guerrero, right? On your booktube channel.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you like to
Mm-hmm.
introduce yourself first, Paula?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. It's so nice to see people saying hello in the comments. That's so nice. Hi, my name is Paola, and my pronouns are she, her. And I have a booktube channel where I interview authors and I do other things, like do reading vlogs, and I don't know what else I been doing lately with that. I used to do more stuff, but I don't know why I'm toning it down. But anyway, and I also have a blog called By My Shelf. That's with two F's at the end. Hi,
Mm-hmm.
and where I talk about books. I do reading logs, or I used to do reading logs. I'm getting back into it. It's just that NaNoWriMo didn't allow me for much reading. So I only did
Mm-hmm.
the 10 thoughts for NaNoWriMo every week. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I've seen like your videos interviewing different
Mhm.
authors, and that's just really so fun to watch. Yeah, so a lot of people are
Thank you.
saying hi. Gerald is complimenting your eye look. It's a bomb. I
Thank
agree.
you. Thank
It's
you.
really
I
so
did it
good.
for the cover. I wanted to match Ghost Squad cover.
Yeah, like the dedication. I love that. So people are saying hi. Um, so yeah, a lot of them are awake at this point. Thank you so much for waking this early. It's like around 10 in the morning on a Saturday here in the Philippines. So
Yeah.
waking at 10 a.m. on a Saturday is really an effort. So thank you so much guys for being here. But again, we're going to talk about Ghost Squad by Claribel A. Ortega, and it's, in case you don't know yet, it's a middle grade book that follows this two 12-year-old or 11-year-old kids. Their names are Lucily and Sid. At first, I thought it was Lucely, and then I've heard in the audiobook it's called Lucily. And they're
Hmm.
trying to like find this magical, I mean, it's, is it a book or like a page in the book wherein they can have
Uh-huh.
this spell so that they could save the spirits of Lucily's family, because it's about like to disappear or vanish, because the gist of here is that the spirits of the dead family of Lucily is like have turned into fireflies, and they live in this magical tree wherein there's a lot of fireflies in there. And yeah, so they're trying to like save those fireflies, so they're finding this magical book wherein they can make a spell or yeah, something like that. So Paula, would you like to add like the gist of the whole book, like in your overview opinion?
Like the synopsis?
Yeah, or like, yeah, sorry, I'm not good at explaining synopsis, but yeah, with like the overview.
Okay, no, I think you got it really well. Yeah, it's about Lucely and her friend Sid, who are trying to sort of keep the spirits alive because they live in a um, firefly, how like firefly form, and then
Mm-hmm.
occasionally they turn into like ghosts, and they're losing kind of like their power, their essence. So Lucely and her friend Sid are trying to get them to be powerful enough again to be like their human form, even if as ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
um she's also struggling with her like her powerlessness because her dad is not doing great with business, so they're about to lose their house. So she feels like she really wants to help, but she can't because she can't make any money because she's a kid, and she's 12 years old, and she's Dominican, and yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty the whole gist of the book. So, it's a horror, but it's of course it's middle grade, so it has like paranormal stuff in it and a little bit of magic and whimsical elements in the story. So it's a really fun read. So if you haven't read that one, guys, we highly recommend it. And it's also easy to understand, even though you're not part you have no uh Dominican roots or whatever. It's really easy to understand. Um, so let's go first with like how do you feel like while reading this book? I don't know how long have you like read this one. Have you read it like a few months ago? Just
No, I read it literally between yesterday and today. So
wow.
between Thursday, Thursday and Friday, because again
Mm-hmm.
I was really really busy with NaNoWriMo, and I was I supposed to read something else during November? I don't know, but I was going absolutely wild with NaNoWriMo, so I had time to read it these last 2 days, and I read it I listened to it in real time, so I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
up the speed in which I could listen to it because I was listening to it on Spotify, and it was
Mm-hmm.
an experience because yesterday I wish I would have brought it with me, but I have a little toy bookshelf with some books in it, like obviously fake books and stuff, like it's plastic, and I was
Mm-hmm.
getting crafty with it, so I was listening to the audiobook while
Audiobook.
doing that, and I wanted to do it the same way today, but doing other crafty stuff. And I couldn't find the crafty supplies. So I had to like lie down in bed and listen to the audio and then pause the audiobook because sometimes when I listen to audiobooks, just lying down, I fall asleep. So
Same.
it was a struggle. But it was nice. I really, really enjoyed the narration.
I agree. I don't know if it's the same with like the audiobook in script, but I really find it very immersive and
Mm-hmm.
engaging. Yeah. So, Dion said here, my other friend said that the summer gives me a Coco vibe, but now I want to read it. And yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
think the marketing said that it's
Mm-hmm.
like Coco and Stranger Things put together with a vibe of like Ghostbusters because they're trying to
Mm-hmm.
hunt ghosts. So it has really that vibe. Yeah. So I also enjoyed it. I was reading it alternately with the physical book and then the audiobook as well. Like when I was doing something,
Mm.
I like put on the audiobook and then I also read with physically, and both like formats I really enjoyed it. I think as I agree with you that the audiobook is really good, the narration is really nice. I like it when the narrator could actually like make me feel that the book is like for middle grade, so it's a really
Yeah.
nice experience. And also I've enjoyed reading it in like physical book because I get to know like some details, the spelling. I'm really curious like the spelling of the name or the place of the cemetery and all that stuff. So it's both a nice experience. So maybe we can start with like how what's your rating with the book, and would you like to kind of explain why did you give that rating?
I gave it 4 stars, and the only reason why I didn't up it to five was because I love when books make me feel. Sorry.
It's okay.
I gave 4 stars, and the only reason why I didn't give it five was because usually when I read a book, or I guess it could be the fact that I read it on audio, but usually when I'm reading with like my eyes physically, I tend to feel like I'm more part of the story. And with
Mm-hmm.
this one, I felt a little bit like disconnected, and not in terms of like the characters or anything, just like I couldn't find myself walking around with the characters, if that makes any sense. Like I didn't find it as
Yeah.
atmospheric as I was hoping it would be.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I have literally no complaints. This book is funny, it's cute, it's spooky, it is very how do I say this? Like I don't know how to explain it, but it was just there was so much humor in it that I adored. I thought it
Mm-hmm.
was great.
Okay. Um, I actually have the same feelings with you. Like I gave it 4 stars not because I didn't enjoy it, but because of the feeling like I can't like the feeling when you're like too attached to the characters or invested too much
Mhm.
in them. So I didn't get that in this one. It's a very enjoyable read. I love this spooky vibe. For me it's also atmospheric for middle grade. It's kind of spooky for middle grade, but for us of course it's a different take. But I totally agree that you can just for me it's more like I'm not that attached to the story or to the characters,
Yeah,
although I really
exactly.
liked it or I really enjoyed it. So we have the same rating. I gave it also 4 stars, but still it's a very highly recommended, you guys. Okay, Don aside here, I'm here for the middle grade spooks. And yeah, totally this one is spooky, but of course it's a different when you're reading it while you're already adult, but it still have this atmosphere of spooky because they have the scenes in like cemetery and like sneaking at night, so it's a fun read. Middle grade humor really hits differently. I agree. It's a kind of humor that's very wholesome and it's very what do you call this, innocent and pure, and it's really nice to read. Hi. So yeah. Um my second thing that I'd like to talk about in this book is that let's go with the culture itself. It has a lot of references to the Dominican heritage, and earlier Paula and I talked about it backstage or well before doing this live that I asked her because Paula is actually Mexican and oh, cutie. So Paula is actually Mexican, but this one is in based on Dominican lore. So I asked her how similar or how close their cultures are. Paula, would you like to like share it with others as well?
Well, I think it's interesting because I usually find Latinx cultures to be highly relatable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever read a book with a Mexican American character except for like as the main character, because I've
Mm-hmm.
read Heroes of Olympus by Rick Riordan, and that one has well, one of the main characters is um, Mexican American, and I
Mm-hmm.
love. But I think outside of that, I don't think I've ever read a book with Mexican characters that is accessible to people aside from um, Como Agua para Chocolate, which is like Water for Chocolate, which is a book that I love. But I
Mm-hmm.
find it really interesting because also the thing that's, I guess, the most different between like the main, how do I say, like the continental part of Latin America and Caribbean is exactly that. That one of them is an island, or several of them are
Mm-hmm.
islands, and Mexico and a lot of Latin America is continental.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess there's a huge gap in that. But other than that, I find it really interesting that I don't know if Mexicans have the same belief as to the firefly. Bit of the story
Mm-hmm.
where she talks about how when people pass away, they take the form of a firefly. I just heard it once when I was in school because one of my classmates had a tattoo of a firefly, and she explained why that was. Um, but like the interactions between the uncles and the aunts and the cousins in the house, that was something that I see happening in Mexican families too. Also
Mm-hmm.
the closeness between the Sid and her grandma Babette, that was
Mm-hmm.
also very relatable, and that's also something that I see a lot in Latinx families or Mexican families specifically.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so basically like even though like you're not specifically on the same roots or race, you've seen like similarities with it. So I think it's I asked that question to Paula earlier because I want to know like if she can see herself or like a certain Mexican family in this book, and she said that
Mhm,
yeah, of course I've seen like a few references. And if you haven't like read the Ghost Squad, it's really very family oriented. It's the closeness, the dynamics of the family and the relationships in here are very it's for Filipinos, for like for us, we are also very family oriented in the Philippines, and I think it's something that we can also resonate with the Latinx culture. And with the fireflies, I really love that idea that the ghosts or the spirits of their dead family will be turned into fireflies and can also like have they have this kind of magic that once like they can turn into fireflies, but also they can turn into like their human image of a ghost, and they can sit with them, eat with them in the dining, and yeah, all that stuff. So I really love that. um and also other like references in here that they, what do you call that, like they have this like they value their what do they call it, ancestral house or home. And I think it's
mhm,
also important in the story because that's where it all started, because Lucily and her father is about to lose their house. So they, Lucily thought of like making something or helping her father to keep that house. And I think it's also resonates with Filipino family because we like if you are from a certain province or place in the Philippines, we also like have this thinking of like keeping that house for a long time because that's where you grew up or that's where your ancestors grew up. So yeah, that's a nice touch of the culture in there. So even though again, if you're not from like the Latinx culture, it's one thing that's nice to know about their culture from a middle grade perspective. So yeah, there's also a lot of comments. Hi. Okay, what's the Ghost Ride by Yang Chu? Hello there. I think this is Asian culture, isn't it? Is this is horror? I think.
yeah, I don't know that book, but I read The Night Tiger by Yang Zechu,
Yang
and
Chu.
that one was really good.
Yeah, I also want to read that. Like both of those books. All right, so let's move on to the characters. Do you have any favorite characters in the book or least like? Just share your thoughts about how the character developed or built throughout the story, and who do you see yourself like? Who you can resonate the most in the characters?
Mhm. I loved Lucely the most. Lucely is
Mm-hmm.
like so she's just really cute, really sweet, and she really has her heart in the right place all the time. And that's
Mm-hmm.
something that I really, really love to
Mm-hmm.
read, because it takes me back to when I was 12 years old and when I was going through stuff and when I was feeling powerless about things that I couldn't control because it was my parents' responsibility. But
Mm-hmm.
that still worried me. That I loved her a lot. I also loved Sid. I love how, like, I don't know how to describe her personality other than like spunky. She's just so active all the time, and she's very energetic, and she's really funny, and she always comes up with like fantastic ideas. And I really, really like her too. I like everyone. I also love Babette. Like, she is so fun. She is
Yeah,
so fun, and
I
she reminds me a lot of my grandma too. Way more badass than my
really.
own grandmas, but also I love her.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think all the characters are very loving, and these are the kind of characters that you, I mean, it just really warms your heart. Maybe because it's middle grade as well, so they're very warm to like listen to their dialogues, the dynamics of the relationship between Lucily and her family, and also her dad or her father. I think it's a very very heartwarming parts of the book. And then also I just love the dynamics between Sid and Babette. Like, you can definitely see that they're related to one another because um they have the same personality. Like, Sid is this not really rebellious, but she's the kind of kid who doesn't really like to follow rules all the time. And also Babette is like this, yeah, you're right, like your badass cool grandma who definitely gets the gist of everything. And I just really love like the plot twist about Babette's person, like Babette's history and all that stuff. So I love that. Personally, my favorite is Babette in all of them. Like, I just loved having a cool grandma. Like, that's the goal. I want to be like that someday when I have like grandkids. I want to be that cool. And I love the cats in the story, like how the cats are very important element as well in the story. I think it adds um uniqueness in it. And then also there is like this what do you call this? Is it no like the ghost hunting tips. It says here always have a cat. So it was just really so fun. What else? Also, I love how the adults were not forgotten at all in the story, because usually in middle grade books, like if they're on a quest or something, there is this feeling in middle grade books wherein they just went into this quest, like they're just kids, like they're like 12 years old, and the adults are missing all the time. But in here, I really appreciate that Claribel Ortega actually included the adults in the quest. Like the kids or the children are most likely, to just be scared. The adults were going to scold us, but at the same time they also ask for help from the adults. So I think it's a very fun thing to see in middle grade books. It's kind of something that I personally would like to see more, because middle grade has to be supervised, even though sometimes it will get them into trouble. But I think it's a good time. So I love the conversation we're in the last part we're in. Lucily said to her dad that like, thank you for helping us. And then the dad said, it's like, I'm glad you're safe, but you're still grounded for the next 6 months. And it was just really so fun. Like, there's still this parenting kind of discipline, but at the same time they're cooler than our usual parents. I mean, so yeah, that's one thing that I really loved about the book, like the adult supervision on the quest. So yeah, I think there are a lot of comments in here. All right, so Reg from INFP Bookworm, she said that Ghost Bride is Chinese Malaysian. So that is from the Yang Jitchu. But all I know is that it's horror, and I really want to read that one as well. Sai said that he always has a hard time choosing which character I love the most when it comes to middle grade books. Like everyone is just so adorable and loving. Like you cannot really choose one.
I agree.
I'm so
I
even
agree.
with the cats,
It's
you can't
usually
choose
always,
one.
yeah. For me, it's usually
Sorry,
always
go.
the usually always. What is that? For me, it's usually the main character who I love the most, and
Mm-hmm.
then I have a hard time picking a second favorite. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I agree. It's hard picking a favorite person in a middle grade book.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Um. All right. I don't know why they're commenting other books. Um, if I don't grow old to be cool like Babette, what even is the point? I don't know if Trish already have finished the book. I think she's reading it since yesterday or the other day. But
Hi Trish, I
that's
just
the
noticed it was you. Sorry,
yeah.
hi
So
Trish.
hello Trish. Hi
But
Rams.
yes, I agree. What even is the point of growing old if you're not growing old like Babette?
Yeah, that's the goal of this generation to grow old like Babette. So there's no argument in there. Perhaps
Absolutely.
we can move on to uh like the atmosphere or the whole feels of the book. Do you think it's horror enough or spooky enough for middle grade? Like with your personal opinion about this, or it could have been better, or it could have improved in some parts, or perhaps with the like how the story went, it could also be about the plot. What are the things that you think is like well done, or what are the things that you think could have been improved by the author? Just your personal opinion.
The thing that I loved the most was the voice. Like that's something that I always pay attention to because when I was younger, well, when I was younger, I didn't really read that much. But when I was 17, that's when I started to read. And later on, I stopped reading like published work or like traditionally published work and started reading a lot of fanfic. So when I discovered the booktube community, people were talking mostly about how John Green always wrote as though like his characters didn't sound like teenagers; they sounded like um, adults. And I didn't remember that. I only read one book by him, but I didn't really remember that. So ever since that comment, I always pay attention to how. Oh, sorry, my dogs are crying again. Let me mute
It's
myself.
okay. It's okay.
I don't know if they're done barking. I don't think they are, but I have the click right here in case they start being annoying. Anyway, I love the voice. I love how young it is because it's supposed to be young, and I love like the adorableness of it. Like I probably would hate to be called adorable if I was a 12-year-old. Like, what does that mean? But like as an adult reading a middle grade book, it's like, yeah, this is totally what it's like um, being 12 years old. So that's something that I love, admire, fantastic, phenomenal. I love it. The thing that I enjoyed the least, and which is not saying that I didn't enjoy it, it's just something that I thought needed some improvement. I think I froze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, you're a little bit clearer now.
Okay. So I was the atmospheric aspect of it because I couldn't really feel like I was there. Maybe because I don't know. Maybe it was because I wasn't really focusing a lot on the book or like the exposition of it all, and I really paid attention to like key descriptions or what the characters were saying because I was like getting crafty and stuff, and then I was busy not trying not to fall asleep because reading or listening to audiobooks puts me to sleep when I'm doing absolutely nothing. So maybe I could be totally off, and I owe the book a reread, like a physical reread, or maybe like a re-listen to it, but on script or something, so that I won't listen to it on real time and I can feel it more focused. But yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think those two are the things that resonated the most with me, both like in a good way and in a not so good way. What about you?
Mm-hmm. Um, I think the thing that I've enjoyed the most, like in every middle grade books, I agree with you. Like, it's also very important to feel or, sound. It's also very important that the POV, even if it's like physical book or an audiobook or just reading it in general, it's very important that you can definitely see or imagine that the character is middle grade, or if it's young adult, it's young adult. So I totally understand that, and I really love that in this part. Like, I can, like, the conversations between Sid and Lucille, and the way they think, the way they act, I very much feel like they're middle grades. So I really love that in this one. I think my favorite parts though are the times when they're trying to, like, go on a quest together, like their friendship. I really love their friendship in this story. So those are my favorite parts, where they go into the cemetery to catch a ghost, or when they're trying to look for the page missing to with the spell, to use the spell. Those are my favorite types of, or those are my favorite parts in the book, where they go on quest together. And then also my favorite is when Babette actually found out what they're trying to do and help them. So those are like my feelings during that time was like, oh my gosh, it's getting exciting. So those are my favorite ones in there. um I think Paula froze, and she's reconnecting. Okay, you're clearer now.
Okay, great. Because I
It's okay.
was froze for a while.
It's okay. It's okay.
Hi, Kate. We
Okay,
love
is Kate?
you.
Hi, Kate. So she woke up late because I think Kate slept late last night. We were talking in
That's okay.
a Zoom call. So yeah, so that's what I love the most about like the Ghost Squad, like their quest, and then that part where Babette found out about it and helped them. So that's pretty exciting. And then maybe the least like is the same problem that I had when I can't give it the full 5 stars. It's because I was not really attached to the story or the characters, like not really that invested. I think it's very important for me, like the book is objectively good. I still believe that it's really a great read. It's just that for me, when I gave a book a 5 star, it should be something that I would like talk the characters that I would talk about them like randomly or more often. But this is a great experience. It's a great memory, and it's something that you can reread at some point. But I think at this point, I'm not yet attached to the characters as much that I would like to. So maybe it also comes with, I think we have the same problem, Paula and I, because I've also listened to this in audiobook. So I think there are some parts that I didn't appreciate them. I mean, I didn't appreciate to its fullest because I was listening to the audiobook while I was doing something. So maybe that is on my part as well. But I will still keep this book and perhaps reread it sometime in the future. So yeah. Um there's a question here from Reg. Did the narrator of the audiobook do a good job? I'm going to start it in a few hours. Yes,
Yes.
my opinion is yes. It's of course it's narrated by an adult like voice actor or voice narrator, but like the way that she describes things and the dialogues in the story, I think it was pretty awesome. I feel like the middle grade voice is talking in that part. So I really liked it. If it's in
Yeah.
script, I think it's the same. It's just that in script you can like double up the speed, so it's really good.
Mhm.
Um,
And also in real time. Like I have never listened to an audiobook in real time except for when I was maybe in fifth grade, and the teacher loved to play all the audiobooks.
Yeah.
But this one was really, really good,
Hmm.
even in real time speed.
Yeah. I could also agree. Like I listen to it like 1.2 speed sometimes because I don't get the description of the location. So it's really
Yeah,
nice.
it's hard.
And it's just that for me personally the dialogues between the characters, because the point of view, of course, I can't remember if it's first person or I know it's third person narrative.
Mhm.
Even though it's third person narrative, you can definitely feel that the book is middle grade in here. Like the writing style of Claribel Ortega is really really awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
There's a comment in here by Trish. Middle grade books have had good record of writing characters that act their age for me. I love how they write children with complexity, but don't forget that they are children. I agree. Um, there's there's a part in here wherein I really felt like, okay, these were children. They were like talking about how how their parents or the adults in their family, like Sid's grandmother, will will kill them if they found out that they were sneaking at night. So I think it's a really good dialogue speaking to how young these characters are. They're not very rebellious at some point, like teenagers who just went into a quest without really being afraid of what will happen to them after they get home. So it's just something that I really love to see in books, like how the way you think when you're 12 years old. It's just that the way you see these characters, and I feel like it's really good to read if you're really in middle grade. But I haven't found a book. I haven't started reading until I was in college as well. So yeah, I missed a lot with middle grade books when I was younger.
yeah, agreed.
Um,
Yeah, I also love the complexity of it all and how it doesn't feel like there's a moral of the story. Like there's
mm-hmm,
obviously a moral of a story, but it's
mm-hmm.
not like in your face, and that's a talent.
Oh yeah, I agree. Like, it's more like you're reading a fictional story, and of course there's a moral and there's like underlying message about it, and there's a lot of things that you can pick up on from here and learn from it. But also, it's not like they didn't sit down and talk about the morals, or like you have to learn about this or you have to know what's patience or love or whatever. So it's a really good writing style. Claribel Ortega, like what do you call this, she actually imparted the message in a way that it doesn't feel like, yeah, directly in your face, this is the moral of the story. So I agree. It's a talent. And I found out that this is a debut novel by the author, and it's just really amazing for a debut book. The writing style is really good. Um, hi. Hi, Bea. Hello, everybody. So I'm just waiting for Paula to come back. I think she's doing something. But thank you so much for staying, guys. And I know that it's pretty hard to wake up this early on a Saturday, but thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. Hi, Ram. I'm sorry. Here's Ram. Um, so perhaps the last question or the last thing that I'd like to discuss would be like, let's just close this with recommendations or book recommendations that are also middle grade or could be outside the middle grade category that you think, for you, Paula, for example, are good to explore more on Latinx culture or heritage, or anything that you have in mind that you could recommend as well, because we have a lot of here, like my fellow Filipino bookish content creators. There are booktubers in here, bookstagrammers. So I think we will learn something from you. Write down, guys, the books that you would like to read from Paula. Just book recommendations, but also please do check out her channel. There are a lot of like interviews with authors, and I screenshot something up there and sent it to my friends and said, "Oh my gosh, she interviewed like Mark Oshiro. Is that the last name? I forgot.
Yes,
Oh my goodness!" But I haven't
I
watched
love
that
them
yet.
so much.
She
They are so nice. I can't. I wish I was their friend so that we could talk more
Oh
Spanish.
my god.
I think they're so fun.
I have yet to watch that video, but I really like I was surprised, so I said it to my friends. But anyway, back to the recommendations. Like if you have middle grade books that you think could also let a good read to explore your culture or other
Yeah,
things.
I'm checking Goodreads, and I haven't read many middle grade with Latinx main characters other than Mew Squad by cute. It's also a squad. That just clicked in my head. Mew Squad by Chantel Acevedo, which is about a Cuban American girl who is living in Miami, and she realizes that she is one of the nine Greek muses after she accidentally turns her best friend into a pop star. That one's really
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Sorry
I
again, what's the title? Sorry.
Mew Squad.
New squad. Okay. All right. So
Mhm.
that's already another squad.
And
Uh huh.
then also middle grade, I have here. Oh my god, where is it? Lupe Won't Dance by Donna Barbara Higuera, and this one is about a Chinese Mexican American girl. Her name is Lupe Wong, and she has this like deal with her uncle that if she gets straight A's in school, he is going to take her to meet her baseball idol, who is also Chinese Mexican. And the trouble here is that she is the trouble is that she for PE they're doing square dancing, and that obviously puts like a barrier between her getting a straight A. So she's like protesting against that. No, sorry, my diction is terrible. Pop star.
I'm sorry, Trish. You expected too much about that
That
story.
would have been so cool though.
Yeah. Into a pop star. That's the first one, right? And then this is the second book you're talking about, like
Yeah,
Luca Want Dance.
Lupe Wong won't dance. I'll write it on the private chat because I forgot I deleted the history of the thingy. I don't even remember why. I think it was so that I could buy something with my credit card. And I haven't relogged onto sites. By Donna Barba Higuera. And New Squad,
Okay, I'll copy that one.
and New Squad by Chantel. And there's also Muse Squad 2, I don't know the name because Muse Squad 1 is the Cassandra Curse, but I don't know the name of the second one. But it's coming
Mm-hmm.
out in July of next year.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the middle grade ones that are Latinx. The first one is Cuban American, and the other one is Mexican Chinese. And I this one is not Latinx like at all, but I loved it. So the Dragon Warrior series, the duology by Katie Sao, I love that one. Gives me major like Percy Jackson on a quest vibes. So good.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just copying your comment.
Yeah,
Okay.
no worries.
So
But
maybe.
yeah, those are the middle grade ones. I need to be better at reading middle grade. Um, but those are the ones that I love. For YA, I love Anna Marie McLemore. I've only read Dark and Deepest Red, Miss Meteor, and Wild Beauty by them, and I love all three of them. They feature Mexican American characters, except for Dark and Deepest Red, which features Romani characters. Well, this one also features a Latinx girl, but like the major representation is for Romani.
Mm-hmm.
Never Look Back by Lilian Rivera. These are all YA, by the way. Um,
It's okay.
this is an Afro Latinx retelling of Orpheus and Eurydice, which I think is super fun. Blaze
Mm-hmm.
Red Wings, obviously. Um, each of us at Desert, Furia. Furia is so good. It's really hard to read because it deals with really heavy topics like
Mm-hmm.
femicide and violence against women and domestic violence against women. But it's a
Wow, that's
really
a
good
nice.
book about soccer.
Wow, that's a nice one.
Hmm.
All right, or if you want like to get more recommendations by Paula, you can check out her channel. I think she's done a lot of videos about like Latinx representation in books and all that stuff. So yeah, check her out. After this live, I'm going to put her link on the description box, but you can just search her on like Paula Guerrero. I think that's the. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. Is it pronounced Guerrero? It's supposed to be Guerrero.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I mean, it's with the rolled R's, but yeah, Guerrero. Yeah, it sounds
Guerrero.
good. Yes, yes.
Sounds good. Yeah, we have here also like last names in here in the Philippines with the same as yours. Like Guerrero is common
Yeah.
also here in the Philippines, so it's good. Yeah. So basically, that's everything that we'd like to talk about Ghost Squad. Again, guys, if you want to check out more, you can check out Paula's channel. And this is going to be saved also on my channel. So you can go back to this and check out all the books that she's mentioned. And also, please do read Ghost Squad if you haven't yet. It's a really, really good one. I really agree with everything that was already said in the story. And I think it's a good middle grade book to introduce us to like different culture outside our culture, which is the
Hmm.
Philippines, and also of course outside the Western, the common Western culture, and um, yeah, that's it. If you do you have more questions, Paula, or anything to add, announce if you would like to plug something.
Well, we read, what did we read? Heartbeat Braves for my book club called Accidentally in Love, which is all about highlighting romance books by marginalized authors.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know when we're having the live show, most likely next weekend. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And also, if you enjoy romance, also. And we also are reading for December Miracles and Menorahs. And I'm reading that one with Kate. So
Wow!
check that out
Yay!
if you
That's
want to.
nice. Actually Paolo likes to read like contemporary romance. So if you're into
I know.
that, you just go ahead check her channel. Again, your book club name is Accidentally in Love, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna check that out. Sai said that he enjoyed the discussion while doing my laundry. Your cat and Paolo.
Thank you. That's really
Thank
nice.
you
I
so
enjoyed my
much.
time here too.
Thank you so much. It's really, really an honor for me. This is my second live show. The first one I had it with Kate, and
Oh,
we talked about my fate according to the butterfly because it's of course based on our culture, and it was really fun to have you on the second month or second live show. And thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you again to everyone who woke up this early to watch this live. I really, really appreciate y'all. And you're still here. We have like 4 viewers. And thank you again to Kate because she recommended you to me, and
Yes.
we've
Thank you,
crossed
Kate.
paths. Thank you, Kate. You're a real man. Um, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I think we're going to end the live in here. Thank you, everyone. Please read Ghost Squad by Claribel A. Ortega. Highly recommended.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Bye. Bye, Trish. Bye,
you.
Kate. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Trish. Bye.